I think we.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. I don't want to rush you. At this time, I'd like to call the Oversight Board of the City of Garden Grove successor agency to the Garden Grove Agency for Community Development meeting to order. Madam Clerk, would you please call roll?
Member Dunn.
Here.
Member Guerrero.
Here.
Member Harris.
Here.
Member Mefford. Here. Vice Chair Jones.
Here.
Chair Dalton.
Here.
And Member Delp is absent.
And this time we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance by Member Guerrero.
Please stand. Place your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, at this time we'll have oral communications. I'll open up the meeting to anyone here that would like to speak. Seeing none, I'll close oral communications, and we'll go to consent items.
Move it.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Call for the vote.
Motion received, 5 yes votes.
Okay, items for consideration.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, we do have an item 3A, adoption of a resolution approving an agreement with Legal and Associates for real estate property appraisal services. And we have Jim Delalonga here to give you a brief report on that.
Thank you, Mr. Okereke. Good afternoon, Chair and members of the Oversight Board. The item for you for your consideration, as we just mentioned, is the approval of a professional services agreement with Lidgard and Associates for real property appraisal services. With the Department of Finance's approval of Garden Grove's long-range property management plan back in March of 2014, the successor agency was permitted to begin the process of disposing of its real property assets pursuant to that plan. And in order to expedite the appraisals of certain properties, Lidgard and Associates was engaged to perform the appraisals on the properties listed in your staff report. Because the contract amount is under $25,000, the Garden Grove Municipal Code does not require a bidding process, but dissolution law does require Oversight Board and Department of Finance approval of contracts. This contract was approved by the successor agency on January 13th, 2015, and staff is recommending that the Oversight Board adopt the attached resolution approving the agreement with Lidgard and Associates, authorize the director to execute the agreement and make minor modifications as needed, and direct staff to transmit the agreement to the Department of Finance for approval. This concludes my report, and staff is available to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions for staff? Hearing none, I'll
move it.
okay, have a motion and a second. Call for the vote.
Motion received, 5 yes votes.
3B.
All right, 3B, Mr. Chair, is the famous ROPS, the recognized obligation payment to 2015-16A, which covers the period, I believe, from July through December 2015. Along with that, we have the administrative budget for the entire fiscal year that starts from July 1, 2015 through June 30, 2016. And again, Jim Delalonga, our Senior Project Planner, is here to give you a brief report on that.
Thank you. Again, good afternoon, Chair and members of the Oversight Board. As Mr. Okereke mentioned, this is our ROPS 1516A, which covers period July 1st through December 31st, 2015. If you're counting, this is the 8th ROPS that we've produced since redevelopment dissolution in February of 2012. This ROPS contains our commercial assistance payments and debt service payments, including the tax allocation bonds, the Union Bank loan, the Office Max tax sharing payments, and other smaller obligations. Additionally, project funding for projects approved by the former redevelopment agency and the Department of Finance as enforceable obligations are also on this. And these include the Great Wolf Lodge, the Brookhurst Triangle project, and the Site B2 Hotel project. The total amount of trust fund monies being requested in this ROPS, including the administrative budget expenses, is approximately $10.6 million. Staff is recommending that the Oversight Board adopt the attached resolution approving ROPS 1516A and direct staff to transmit the ROPS to the Department of Finance for approval, as well as the State Controller's Office and the County Auditor Controller as required by law. This concludes my report, and staff is available to answer any questions.
Any questions for staff? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion, second, call for the vote.
Motion received, 5 yes votes.
3C.
3C, Mr. Chair, it's related to the Brokers Triangle. The project is moving along, and the developer is ready to move, as I said, the project along, and we're getting ready to start plans for the phase 1 of the project. And this resolution here approves the transfer of the property to the developer in accordance with the long-range management plan. And the actual transfer will be effected at the appropriate time. But this authorization is required as a step so that the developer can move forward with the plans. And we have a great budget here to give you a brief report on it.
Thank you, Mr. Okereke. Mr. Chair, members of the Oversight Board, the purpose of this report is to request the Oversight Board consider adopting the attached resolution approving conveyance of certain property located at Garden Grove Boulevard and Burkhurst. This is the Burkhurst Triangle development. And the agency will be conveying this to New Age Burkhurst LLC, which is the developer of the project. And they have a DDA that was approved by the agency November 24th, 2010. That was held up by the dissolution of redevelopment, but is now back, as Kingsley mentioned, ready to go and be developed. So within the next couple months. This will allow conveyance of the property, and it's required by the title company to insure the property. So this will go to the DOF to get approval, and then we could actually transfer the property to the developer. As we mentioned, this is phase 1 of the development, and there is an attachment 3 that shows the parcels that we're conveying that make up the 3.61 acres for phase 1 development. Parcels 089, 661, 05, 04, and 03, part of 05. So at this time, staff recommends the Oversight Board adopt the attached resolution and authorize successor agency director to take actions that may be necessary to convey the property to New Age, including executing grant deeds and instruments and agreements, issuing warrants, and taking appropriate actions to convey the property. Authorize the chair of the Oversight Board to sign the passage and adoption of this resolution, and direct staff to transmit the resolution to the State Department of Finance. That concludes my report.
Yes, questions? Go ahead, Member Jones.
Just want to point out that on the agenda, it refers to this as the northeast corner of Garden Grove and Brookhurst. And I think it should be the northwest corner. I think the northeast corner is a furniture store.
That's correct. Thank you.
Minor correction on the agenda.
Any other questions for staff? Okay, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second, call for the vote.
Motion received, 5 yes votes. Did you vote?
Did I vote?
There you go.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Okereke, are any reports or any updates you want to give us? at this
Just
time?
a brief update, just to remind you, in March, we may set up a meeting, not sure if the first or the second meeting, but we're still working through the compensation agreement. We have signatures from almost everybody, all the taxing entities, except for I believe, the Water District. And once we have all of that resolved, we'll bring it forward to you for approval so we can transmit it to the state.
Mm-hmm.
So we may have one meeting in March for that purpose.
Okay. Any matters from any board members? Okay, hearing none, we'll adjourn the meeting till whenever the next one's scheduled, you'll give us notice.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Sweet. Nice job, man.